What's up, YouTube? It's FAOVIRTE here, bringing you guys one final deck profile from Nationals of this weekend, or this past weekend. This is a Herald of Perfection deck. It did not make it to top 64. The guy did make it to day 2. A very interesting deck. For those of you who have been a long-time subscriber of mine from back in the day, you guys will know that my friend who I guess still plays Yu-Gi-Oh, but he's been really busy with college. Big Bruce 94, shout out to you, Derek. He played Herald to Perfection all the time back in the day when the deck had just been released, Infernities were big, and like Herald was actually pretty decent back then. It was I would say it was somewhat part of the big three, but not really, because really the big ones back then were Infernity and X-Saber, and you might have seen a little bit of Herald of Perfection because I know that Jeff Jones was running it. But you didn't really see it after that too much. So whenever this deck does pop up every now and again, it's really cool to see how people kind of, use this deck. I was looking through the comments of Vexy's video, and there weren't many comments at the time of making this video. But people were saying it's really good to see this, and one of the comments was, normal agents or chaos agents would be better, and I agree because this deck does get smashed first turn by Evil Swarm. He does have the tour guide out, but if you don't open with that, then you are kind of screwed. Evil Swarms really do just take a dump on this deck. And one quick thing about the side deck, he didn't have 3 cards. This was all he had from Soul Drain up to the Thunder Kings. So I ended up throwing in 3 Herald of Orange Light for the simple fact that it's a Veiler, and he's not maining Veiler, or he wasn't even siding Max C. So I figured you got to be able to have some kind of negation. So I figured Herald of Orange Light, if you guys want to test that out in the main or the side, doesn't really matter. But just to read you its effect, it's during either player's turn when an opponent's effect monster's effect activates. You can send this card and one other fairy-type monster from your hand to the graveyard and negate the activation and destroy it. So it fuels your graveyard for Hyperion. And also if you're sitting with like a dead vanilla in your hand, like Megami or a Shine Ball, you can just pitch it and Herald and Aura to negate a card's effect and destroy it. So they go to use Draco Sack, you can just pitch this and a random vanilla and then just pop it. So anyways, let's hop right into the deck list. One more thing about the extra deck. He did not have a Digesto Phoenix or a Cowboy, so I just threw that on in there for you guys just to have it complete. So anyways, he has Trag, BLS, and Gores. That's pretty staple for Herald decks to be running these 3 cards. For the simple fact that, it's agents, chaos agents, they're all pretty much the same thing. Archer Christia, it's Christia. It's an Ophion, but with better stats. Master Hyperion, we all know how good this card is. The ability in order to pop stuff is just go, go, go. Jupiter, in case you guys don't know what his effect is. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. He did not use Jupiter. My apologies. I was wondering why this deck was 42 cards. That was a card that I missed. I'm sorry. Forget Jupiter. Jupiter was never in here. It's a 40-card deck. My mistake. 3 Venus. We all know what Venus does. All random agent staples. Earth, get your Strato Search. Go, go, go. Honest, it's honest. Herald of Perfection. The guy said that so many people didn't know how to work around this deck. Or work around this card. It can be ritual summoned with Dawn of the Herald, and then during either player's turn, when your opponent activates a spell, trap, or monster effect, you can send a fairy-type monster from your hand to the graveyard and negate the activation if you do destroy it. So, you can also use Advanced Ritual Art to drop it. You just go Advanced Ritual Art. You can either send all 3 Shine Balls or Megami. Back in the day when Infernities and X-Sabers were big with Rescue Cat and all that, the typical play was Advanced Ritual Art, and send all 3 of your Shine Balls, get out Herald, and then, that was if you had a Christia. So if you already had 1 fairy in your grave, then you could just go ARA, send your last 3 fairies that you need, play Herald, then drop Christia. So you already have the lock first turn where your opponent can't special summon, and then you're able to get a fairy back into your hand with Christia's effect, and you haven't lost any hand advantage. Your hand is still the same size as it started out once you did all that. So let's say you got your 6 cards. You play ARA, that's 5. You play Herald, that's 4. You play Christia, that's 3. You get back a Shine Ball, that's 4. So and now your opponent has to potentially worry about a possible 4 fairies in hand, and they know that you have at least the 1. So, but then Manju, normal or flip summon, get the Herald or ARA or Dawn of the Herald to your hand. And then Megami, 3 Shine Balls for the Venus. Megami, it's always used in Herald. In case you run out of Shine Ball vanillas, you can just go ARA, dump Megami, get this. And then Dijin, release for rituals. Its effect is that when you ritual summon a ritual monster, you remove from and play this card from your graveyard as one of the monsters required for the ritual summon. While the monster ritual summon using this card's faceable on the field, your opponent cannot special summon. So even if you don't have Christian on board, you can just go Dawn of the Herald, banish Djinn, and then use some other material to play, because he's not used for the whole tribute, right? You move from play this as one of the monsters, so it doesn't take away the whole tribute. Just you can go Dawn of the Herald, banish this, and then like say a Manju from your side of the field to play Herald, and then you just banish this from the graveyard. And as long as Herald's face up on board, it has a Christia effect, which is really, really nice, especially with a 2800 defense. Not even Big Eye or Dracosac can get around that, and then if you've already used Djinn, and they can't even special summon anyway, so it really slows them down. This deck, I kind of like to think it's like Garden Beat, where except with Garden Beat, you don't have one sole strategy for Chain Beat in general, for that matter. So you could almost kind of compare this deck to Garden Beat, where you have to really slow roll the games. You have to really take your time and set up your combos, because your main hindsight goal with this deck is to keep Herald on board at all costs. Because not only is it 2800 defense, you want to be able to stop all of your opponent's effects, and especially if you are able to drop first turn Herald and Christia, you can just keep on poking with Christia and just leaving Herald on board and maintaining your hand advantage with all those fairies. And then double Tour Guide, just go Tour Guide into a rank 3. Spells, Preparation of Rites. This card is so good, and it's 10 to 15 bucks. I don't know why, because it's so old. I guess because it's never been reprinted. But you get to add to your hand one level 7 or lower ritual monster card from your deck. Then you can add to your hand a ritual spell from your grave. So if you go ARA, dump all 3 of your Shine Balls, and then drop Herald, and then if you've got Preparation of Rites, you can just go Rites, get a Herald into your hand, and then get ARA back into your hand. So, and it's also more fuel for your Herald on board, of course. The more fairies in your hand, the better. Dawn of the Herald, it's used to summon Herald, tribute monsters with a level equal. Except his Dawn of the Herald's a bit different, because whenever you ritual summon, it has to be from your hand or field whose total levels equal exactly 6. So if you do this as a level 3, you're going to also have to probably use your tour guide. So just a little heads up there, or this and another level 3. And then his effect is that when Herald of Perfection is ritual summoned by this card's effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard to target one of the monsters in your graveyard that was tributed for the ritual summon and return that target to your hand. So it just adds more fairies into your hand again. Advanced Witcher, I already talked about this. Too good. Mind Control, Pot of Avarice, Heavy Storm, Monster Born, Dark Factor, Mass Protection. Keep on reusing your vanillas. For the side, 3 Soldiering, 2 Royal Decree, and Curse of Darkness. Each time a spell card is activated, the controller of that spell card takes 1,000 points of damage. Very good against Prophecy. Double MST, double Soul Taker, double Thunder King, and I already mentioned the Herald of Orange Light. Extra deck, Scrap Dragon, Stardust, Black Rose, Gaia Knight, and Catastor. Cowboy, already said why. Utopia, Acid, Leviathan, Leviair, Tempo, Zenmane, Scotchy, Dark Mist, and I guess Phoenix, already said why. This is a pretty staple extra deck for a deck like this. It's kind of like Frog Monarch, how they have like their staple extra deck, like their rank 6s and their rank 2s and all that. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know about what you think about Herald topping. I know I'm going to definitely mess around with this deck, possibly even for next format if this deck doesn't get screwed over too much by the balance, and I don't think it will. Herald's like really under the radar, but it's just one of those decks that's always cool to go back to. Because it's just, it has potential. It's just the fact is that it's too slow, and with September formats usually being a bit slower, I think that this deck could have some potential with the support that it has. It doesn't even need 3 Earth, really. I mean, you've already got everything that you need right here. I think this is a pretty solid build, and I think it could be able to go, hopefully, a bit farther next format, even before and after Chicken comes out in Judgment of the Light. So anyways, I rambled on long enough. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Rate, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. Peace.